Welcome to part 2. I'm Maddie, and I'm a rock tumbler. And I'm going to tell you 3 things that I think you should know before you start your very first batch of rocks. These are some tips and tricks that I picked up along the way. And I'll list the resources that I use to learn how to rock tumble at the end of the video. Number 1, you need to learn about the Mohs hardness scale. You always want to tumble rocks that are of a similar hardness together. For example, this labradorite is a 6 on the Mohs hardness scale, and so is the white and black moonstone right next to it. But this desert jasper is a 7 on the Mohs hardness scale. If I were to put this in with the labradorite, it would scratch, ruin, and destroy labradorite. Putting softer rocks in with harder rocks will almost always end up with broken rocks and no polish, or a bad polish. You can do mixed hardness tumbles, but for your first time, I suggest just sticking with a same hardness tumble. Having a bunch of broken, ugly rocks can really discourage you, trust me. I always Google what a rock's hardness is before I tumble it. Number 2, time and patience are key to rock tumbling. As you can see on my rock log here, my agates have been in stage 1 for 6 weeks. Most rocks you will run a week-long stage on, which means that most rock tumbles will take at least a month because there are 4 stages. But on harder and bumpier rocks, it can take much longer, up to several months, to finish a batch. I always recommend keeping rocks in stage 1 till they are almost completely smooth. This makes the rest of the rock tumbling process so much easier, and definitely improves your polish. Your patience will almost always be rewarded in rock tumbling. But there are some softer rocks that don't take as long to tumble. Number 3, there are many different ways to tumble, and you don't always have to follow the rules. What I mean by that is you don't always have to buy name brand stuff like top-of-the-line ceramic media or plastic pellet. You can use things like Tilex spacers and walnut shell as media. And you don't always have to use as much grit as the manufacturer recommends. You'll learn more what works for you the longer you tumble rocks, and pick up tricks from different rock tumblers that you watch. My last tip is to be patient and don't get discouraged. Rock tumbling can be pretty tricky, but if you're patient, your rocks will turn out great.